Good day, everybody, and welcome back to the flight deck. We're here in Bari, in Italy. Today we're leaving here, and we are heading down to Kos in Greece, one of the Greek islands to the southeast of the mainland Greece. And again, it's a night flight as we cruise around the Mediterranean. We have Kevin joining us. He's in that 727 sitting over there. And thanks for coming along. A couple housekeeping notes. Don't forget, like, subscribe, all that good stuff. Leave a comment. I always answer the comments afterwards if you leave them after the stream. And don't forget, you can come over to the Discord, find out what we're flying, when and where, and come along and join us on these live streams as we fly around the world and do all that stuff. And of course, if you really want to help support, you can join the channel and help us that way with new aircraft and scenery and stuff like that. So we're here with the Boeing 737-700 business jet. We're going to get on board, start getting her set up and ready to go for today's flight, which is about 2 hours long. All right, so we're on board the aircraft. We'll get the flashlight on, and we'll start getting this thing all powered up. So batteries are on and guarded, standby power on and guarded, and emergency exit lights are on and guarded. Kill the flashlight now. There we go. So those are all on. Ground power can come on. There we are. Ground power is on. And I got to figure out where the main lights are for this thing. There should be like floodlights or something. Get the lights up. And we'll get the circuit breakers up. A couple notches. Get the position lights on. Pop downstairs here. We'll get these ones up. We'll get these up as well. Come over here to Roger's side, and then we'll drop down and do the panel. There we go. All right. Oh, it's up on top. That's why you didn't keep seeing it. There it is. There we go. Thank you, Kevin, as always. I didn't call it a 737. I said 727. I do know what I said there. All right. So with that done and our lights on, we can pop up top. We're going to turn the IRSs over to nav. And we come down and start going through our stuff. So we'll get the seatbelt signs on for the people in the back. Electric hydraulic pumps will now come on. Yaw damper will come on. Window heats. Left and right are on. We'll get on the fuel pump for the APU. Turn on the APU, and as soon as the low oil pressure light comes in, oh, thanks, you're so kind. There we go. We can start up the APU. So if we pop down here, we can take a look at our route today. Get rid of that. So we're going to take off, loop around to the right, come down over the heel of Italy here. We're going to head out over the Ionian Sea, down towards Greece, covering southern part of the Peloponnese. I think this is the Peloponnese, isn't it? And then down over the Greek islands here, and we're going to be landing down here in Kos. And that is our plan for today. So we'll pop back up, waiting for the APU to stabilize. And the APU is stabilized. So generators will now come on. APU bleed will come on. Packs we'll put on and get some air moving in the back. The isolation valve is open. All right, so down to the FMC. We're all good here. Nav data is good to October 3rd. Position initialization, we'll grab the GPS position, throw it in, and we are good there. Over to our route. today we're going to request our flight plan. There it is, LIBD to LGKO. We'll grab that. 600 miles, block fuel, 6.1 tons. Looking good. We will enter in our payload and fuel, and we will select the route. Today we are flying with, again, 25 passengers, same as last time. So the executive people and all that stuff, and their staff and helpers and all that. And we're looking good. Airtime is 1 hour 30 minutes. Block time is 1 hour 58. We'll load the route in. Wait for it to go active. There we go. So we'll activate and execute. So our route is in. We will do our departure information. Today we're going to be doing runway 25 weather. I will grab an update and post it. There's a bit of a storm front to the north. This is you're carrying the boxes. This is 17 minutes ago. Winds of 210 at 3 knots. Kind of variable around 180 to 240. A few clouds at 3,500 feet, 18 degrees, and 1014 on the QNH. As I mentioned, there's a storm front to the north, but it looks clear to the south, so we're okay there. So we're going to be departing off of runway 25. So we'll go to our departure. It's going to be runway 25. We're going off on the Dolo 5 Zulu, and we'll execute that. For our arrival, winds are currently favoring runway 32. Let's get an update there. Still currently favoring 32. So we'll come back to the index. We're going to be doing the RNAV for runway 32. We're going to be coming in on the goalie 1 mic, or Gilo 1 mic, and we are going to transition at Morix. So we'll execute that. We'll go to our legs page quickly. There's our departure. Looking all good. That's us coming in. And I'm just going to pull up the arrival for some altitudes. And we're looking good. Morix. So if I come over to the arrival, or the approach, Morix, we're going to go hard 4,000. At LTAC, it's going to be 3,500. And then 324 will be 2,500. And that way we're not struggling to get down at the very end there. All right, so that is in with the legs. We can come over, get ready to do our performance data. So let's pull up our performance table. We're going off on runway 25. We'll bring in that information, and that information. And there's our numbers. Let's bring that in. So we're set for a cruise today at 39,000 feet. We'll see what it gives us here. Should say that. Load that in. It wants us at 41. We'll change that. And our fuel reserve is actually going to be 0.8. All right. So we'll execute that. 0.8 on the fuel reserves. And 390 on our cruise altitude. That's all now entered in, and we'll go over to our N1 limits. All right, it has us doing a TO2 Departure with a cell temp of 50 degrees. That is now set. We'll come over to our takeoff. First thing I'm going to do is put in the runway winds. 210 at 3. I'll come back over. It is going to be a flaps 1 departure. The trim put in. 1,100 feet remaining. Our V speeds 121, 123, 129. 123, 123, 129, 121, 123, 129. So that is all in. So we'll pop down to the radios. 122.8 on Unicom and 121.5 on guard channel. There we go. Bari Terminal, Caribou 32, radio check.
5x5, heavy to airfield 322.
5x5 as well?
Cheers.
All right, that's done. So altimeter 1014. Of course, we're in HPA. That is now set. Transponder, we're going to squawk 1000. Fueling, loading, and boarding is complete. Takeoff data is set. We're going to set our 39,000 feet for our cruise altitude. And airport elevation is 200 feet, I believe. I'll just check that. Sorry for the cough. Let's just check the airport elevation. 193 feet, so that is good. MCP. I'll come down here now. So minimum or initial climb speed is going to be V2 plus 10, so that's 139. Runway heading here is 245. And we're going right up to 39,000 feet. There's no ATC up currently. We'll see if they come up later on. And we are set there. Flight directors will come on both sides. And radios are set. Come down here to our FS actions now and ground services. They can unhook the ground power. We can remove the chocks. And we can call for our push.
Set parking brakes to request ground services.
My mistake.
This parking is too small for
and
your
we'll prepare for our pushback. And they should be closing the doors as well. Let's just take a look. No, doors are still there. No.
Ciao, Captain. We are ready for pushback.
Are you going to close the doors for me? This is GSX doing the doors here.
Departure checks completed. Bypass
We'll see what they do.
started. Locking it.
Okay, well, they're pulling away the doors and the stairs now that the tug's coming in, so that's all good. So doors are closed, ground equipment is clear, chocks are removed. We've requested push and start, and they're coming in to do it. So anti-collision light will now come on. Logo light is on. And the aircraft is pretty much ready to go. And we're going to be going out to runway 325, which means we're going to have to head down to Lima. So we're going to go nose right, tail left.
Release passing the brakes. Clear.
Bari area traffic, Caribou 32, push and start gate 10 or stand 106, facing west. Brakes released.
And Bari traffic airfreight 322 setting up then.
We have no fuel in the center tank, so we're just going to start the outer ones. Packs will come off. Not sure where they're pushing us here. We'll see. That could be interesting. And we'll start engine number 2. All right, we've got N1 rotation. Interesting.
Please set passing the brakes.
My SPAD next isn't working.
Waiting your confirmation for a good engine.
Yeah, it's not. I mean, the profile's in and it's active, but I'm not. Not seeing any. There's no movement on the thing, except for the right aircraft. Yeah, I could do that. Let's restart it. Easy Molly. I know you're hearing things out there. Let's go profiles. My profile 737. Activate profile. We got the check mark beside it. All right, let's try engine number 1. Looks like we got an aircraft landing, a Ryanair coming in. And oh, there we go. It worked that time. Don't know what that Ryanair is doing. He's circling off the end of the runway. All right, there's good engine start. We'll let them know.
Cockpit to ground. We have a good engine start. You can disconnect.
Unlocking the engine.
All right, so engine generators 1 and 2 are now both on. Engine 1 and 2 start switches over to continuous. Probe heat are on. Engine NTS not required. Bleeds for engines 1 and 2 are on. Left and right packs are on recirculation. Fan to auto. Isolation valve to auto. APU bleeds off. APU is now coming off. Pop down here. Flaps to 1 for takeoff. Elevator trim, we want 4.9, so just below 5. About there.
Track disconnected. Bypass the remote.
Alright, flight controls. full forward, full back, neutral, full left, full right, neutral, rudder is good. Engines are looking good. We'll bring that up there. LNAV and VNAV are now both on. Auto throttle is on. Warning recall is good. We're going to put Roger into the legs page. And we'll kill the dome light. There's our ground crew chief.
That is traffic 322 and 201, taxi with Alpha Romeo 25 via November and Tango.
Alright, we are ready to go. Bari area traffic, Caribou 32 taxiing runway 25 via apron 1 Lima Tango holding point Alpha.
Bari traffic Ryanair 198 Papa runway 07 on final to land.
Okay, we'll get the lights on. Auto brake is set to RTO. Brakes are released. Start moving forward. We'll follow Kevin out. Kevin's flying the 727 freighter. And of course we're in the private jet here. So he's coming in to land. On 07. Interesting choice given the winds are coming the other way, so he's got a little bit of a tailwind. Alright, so we're going to set ourselves up here. We're going to go to 10 data terrain. And we're going to go there, on Rogers. It gives him a 40-mile diameter bubble around us for TCAS. We'll turn traffic on now on both. All right. So here at the runway, we're going to do our fuel flow test. Both engines should be about equal. They are. V speeds are set 121, 123, 129.
Bari traffic Ryanair 198 Papa runway back.
MCP is
set
set 139, 245 and 39,000 feet. Nav data is all set and confirmed, and radios are set. All right, we'll move up to the hold line here. We're going to give Kevin 2 minutes once he rolls for spacing. Kevin, what's your cruise altitude for today? All right. So, wing lights will come on. Position lights will go strobe and steady. Taxi light will come off. Turn off lights on. Landing lights are on. Transponder.
Bari traffic, airfare 322, runway 25 on the Dodo on 8 Quebec.
Runway is identified. 33, okay. 330, okay. Runway is identified and we are good. Bari area traffic, Caribou 32 taking position, runway 25 and holding for spacing. All right, J-Hog, good luck. I know Jackson Hole can be a challenge, especially at sundown. Or, now it won't be sundown there yet, but with a low sun. Anyway, late afternoon. All right, so it's 1957 now. We'll depart at 2000. This is actually 15 minutes ahead of schedule, so we're doing good.
Bari traffic, airfare 322, 1500 on the Dodo on 8 Quebec.
Sorry, was that egg freight 322? Nice. I can see the other aircraft over there on the apron. Forgot I was in Italy right now when I said at nighttime. Not in flying in my part of the world right now. That was funny. All right, we'll go to 1959. Looks like the clock had just changed over, so that'll be a good 2 minutes. He's making his turn there anyway. All right, so brakes are set, engines coming up to 40%. Clock is running. Engines 40% and stable. Brakes released. Takeoff power is set. Bari area traffic, Caribou 32, rolling runway 25. Bari. Bari. Check.
V1. Rotate. Positive rate of climb.
Gear up. right, positive rate, gear up, autopilot is on, auto brakes are off, gear lever is selected to off. Engine start switches are off. Runway turn off lights are off. Cabin pressurization is normal. And there's 200 knots, flaps up. Bari area traffic, Caribou 32 climbing through 3,800 on the Dolan 5 Zulu departure, Bari.
Bari traffic, IR freight 322. So we're coming to overhead the Bari VOR. We're establishing outbound on the radio 078 on the Dolan 8 Quebec departure.
Alright, we'll keep an eye out for Kevin. I think he's passing behind us overhead the field. Over to standard pressure. We do have some speed restrictions here we're under. 210 knots. All right, there's 10,000 feet. Landing lights will come off. Cabin pressure is good and seat belts can come off. There's the town, the city. Town, I guess, actually. Large town, small city. Anyway, we're going to make this turn around, head out over the water, and then keep on arcing around to the south. As we go, we got 7.5 miles to the next waypoint when we can increase our speed. There's the airport down there, right on the coastline. Much nicer departing here today than it was when we took off on Friday or Monday. That rain we were coming in on. Get rid of you, bring you back up. Let's zoom out one notch
traffic
there.
airfreight 322 contact with Picos, flight level 184, final call Bari.
And we'll make our final call over BD 628. There's Kevin. Bari area traffic, Caribou 32 is overhead, Bravo Delta 628 on the Dolan 5 Zulu departure, climbing through flight level 176, final call Bari. All right. So there's the exit point. Dolan. And we're speeding up now, so our rate of ascent has gone down. The aircraft pick up speed. And we're off to Greece. So Kos is an island out in the sea there, so that's going to be rather interesting. Not sure if it's the Cretan Sea or if it's still part of the Ionian Sea, but or is that the Ionian Sea? Let me take a look. Could be top end of it. Anyway, we're up to our climb speed. Still working on the departure route here, but as you can see, we are catching up nicely. Oh, a little bit of a sim freeze there. Oh, it's a long one. There we go. So as mentioned, if you're watching this and you want to join us on these flights as we fly around the world, if you're looking for a challenge or flying to different places, different aircraft and stuff, you're more than welcome to come along. Come over to the Discord. Links are in the description, and you can find out what we're flying, when and where, and you're more than welcome to come along. If you do have any questions about the sim or about the aircraft, feel free to ask. Always willing to help and answer whatever questions we can. All right, so now that we're up above almost 25,000 feet, let's see if we can get some tunes in here. Here we go, Kevin. There's a playlist called Indie Alternative, and it shows a cassette, and on the cassette it says Kevin Mix. Should I throw it on? Let me know. Let's go in the back, take a look at some of the viewpoints from there. There's the forward lounge, of course, for the family. Back behind the shower and food prep area, the view out there. I'll turn off those lights in a second. The other side, and sitting in the back, some nice views there. So let's pop up front. We'll get the wing lights and logo lights off. Make it look a little bit nicer out. There we go. Of course, there's the bathroom and showers. There's where all the food prep is done. Counters and stuff put away. And there's our view. There's the heel of Italy. And we're going to be making a turn heading over to Greece, which we just make out on the horizon there. And we'll be cutting down on the south side. All right. Let's see what this is about. We're still climbing up to our cruise altitude of 39,000 feet. And what I'm going to do now is, there's no ETC up, so I'm going to go off mic. I'll be in the chat. I'm going to look at a couple things that I'm working on for my trip that's coming up, and also take care of Molly. So I'll be in the chat, and I'll leave you with the music.
Trees, I gotta make it sound. This Birds fly above our heads. You and me behind a tree, making love tenderly. Leaves are falling all around us. Breathe you in my dreams. Grass makes it sweeter. I love to lay down with you. I see love in your eyes. On the floor there are some flowers. They color my dreams. In my dreams. Kind of warm in the air. I can feel it almost touching. Confusion in the air. Playing till the game is over. A sad fire of my dreams. It sounds like a fairy tale. In the middle of nowhere, strange feeling in my heart. Maybe it's my imagination. Are you only in my dreams? My dreams. In my
Talk about all the things
All right, we're back. We're about 80 miles to the top of descent. I'm going to just kill the music there, because I'm hearing it as well, and it's a little distracting as I'm trying to talk and run through everything here. We're going to be coming up for top of descent, so let's start getting ourselves ready to go. All right, so destination weather, we'll get the current weather update for costs, and I'll throw it into the chat. So there you go. As you can see, winds are 310 at 7 knots, 10 kilometers of visibility, few clouds at 1600, 22 degrees, QNH 1013. We'll make sure that is loaded in and ready to go. Arrival data, we're going to pop down to the FMC. We're going to go init ref index approach. We're going to be a flaps 40 landing, and we'll enter that in there. So that is now set. We pop up top. Landing altitude for the pressurization. Airport elevation is 412 feet. So make sure that's at 400. Radios are set ILS, localizer, and frequency. So we'll pull up the ILS now, which we are not doing. We're doing RNP approach, so we don't have to worry about that. We will tune in the localizer for here. It is 1090. We can use it as a reference. And we'll get 0 dialed in, 1090. And we will set the course for that just as a guide. 323 degrees. There we go. And popping back down to the FMC, we can come into our fixed page, and that's going to be Lima Golf Kilo Oscar. And we're going to do our 4 nautical mile ring, where everything has to be set up. 10 nautical mile ring, we got to be on the glide and heading down. And we're going to come in for our extended center line of 143 degrees. And we'll set that at 20 miles. And that is in now as well. So that's the localizer. Again, not required. Pop up here. Warning recall is clear. We are good. MCP, we're going to be going down to an intercept altitude of 2,500 feet. And again, it's going to be a continual descent pretty much all the way down. So we'll set that in now. It's 2,500 feet set. Altimeters we've already put in on 1013. Minimums for the approach. It's an RNAV, it's a little bit higher. Straight in landing, LNAV, VNAV, it's going to be 672 feet. So we'll set that on the barrel. And that's going to be pretty much 300 feet above ground level, 299 actually. So this set, we have our reference and our minimums. Missed approach. I'm going to climb to 3,000 feet on the runway heading of 323 degrees, and then we're going to make a left turn, which is all programmed in. Auto brakes, it's a shorter runway. We're looking at 7,800 feet, and we were going to want to get off about 2/3 of the way down, so we're going to go auto brakes 3 for this one. And we are set. So again, we're landing on an island. There'll be a bunch of islands we'll be flying past and over as we come down. But we're looking good. No ATC in the area. It's fairly quiet. 37 miles to go to top of descent. You can see everything is starting to come in now. And we're trucking along. There's 1 hour and 2 minutes into the flight, and airtime is mentioned. We are looking at 1 hour 30. We'll see how we do with that prediction. "26 miles to go." You can see these islands now that we're going to be flying along. Basically making this turn, we're going to head down this chain of islands. And looks like where we're headed is right off the Turkish coast. So, other side of this group across the sea here. "13 miles, we're all set." We're going to peg the speed at about 280 once we get up there on the descent, and we'll hold that down to 10,000 feet. Now we do have no restrictions. We have a bunch of aboves as we come in. We have a speed restriction Morix. We have to be at 200 knots. That's fine, and then we will slow down from there, and I've hard coded in Morix at 4,000, so that's our first hard altitude that we'll be coming up for. Six miles out. So Kevin's about halfway to the airport now, and looks like we have an A320 landing there right now. He's at about, oh, he's at 3,000 feet, so it looks like he's on final. Let's see how busy it is. It's 1.8 miles. Just the three of us inbound, Kevin, myself, and that one guy coming in. Just landing now, so not too busy. No outbounds currently. And we're going to be going to stand 1, by the way. We'll be parking at stand 1. All right, we're beginning our descent. Now we don't actually enter into the arrival until Gilos. So let's keep an eye on that. And looks like we're, let's see if I can see it. There's Santorini. Now, from what I remember, that is a volcano remnant that exploded and it flooded in, and that's how come the island looks like that. Blew the top of it off, and then it flooded with the Mediterranean. So that's pretty cool. You can see the Santorini airport down there. Well, at least I can. You might be able to see it on the stream. All right, we're coming up on the 280. We'll just keep an eye on that as we come down. Just descending, Jayhawk. Just descending. How was your landing in Jackson Hole, Wyoming? Up in the mountains there. So there's 273. Again, we're going to peg it at 280. Engine should roll back to full idle, and we'll just hold that on the way down. Kevin is a little bit ahead of us, so I'm not worried about spacing. And there's 280, so we'll go speed intervention. I'm going to flick it over, and 280. I'll let the aircraft hold it. Terrible. Yeah, but did you walk away from it? If you did, that's a good landing. Alright, we're through 30,000 feet. Descent is looking good. We're holding about 282. Kevin's ahead of us. Continuing our descent downwards. Kevin would have sent you around. Came in too fast but got it down. Yeah. Some of those airports, man, you come in, especially if you're doing the procedures, they seem to leave you high. I remember doing one, I'm not sure which one it was. Oh, another little stutter. By the time I came off the turns and I was following the altitudes on the arrival, you know, I had a massive drop to get down to the ILS for it, and it was almost too much. Alright, we're doing good. It's coming in here. There's Santorini down there. Continuing our way along. There's 2,700 feet. We'll tell them to put the seatbelts on in the back. And we'll give them a ding so they know. See, we are doing an RNAV approach, or RNP approach. All right, we'll see you later. Thanks for dropping by. All right, we're going to dial back to 40 miles now. Let's try to keep the clutter down to a minimum. We do have terrain on, we do have traffic on, and data for all our points here. So we're heading for Playa? Hasta Playa. Interesting. That's the island directly ahead of us. There she is right there. Very dark. Once we get out over the water, we're going to make our turn. I think Kos is over here somewhere. So fairly inhabited island. Airport's down on the low ground. We're looking good. I'm not sure what approach Kevin is doing. Something with radials and stuff like that in his older aircraft. So we do have some mountains on either end. We're landing in the flat center-ish portion of the island. And we are looking at no real update to the weather. Still straight down the runway at 8 knots at 330. 1013, and visibility just a few clouds in the area. Although I did say a few clouds in the area over Bari the other day when we arrived, but it was pouring rain that we went through. But I'm not seeing much in the way of clouds down here. I think that's it over there where we're headed. Alright, so that's us through 20,000 feet.
That's the Orban Institute.
So this turn point up here is the entry point into the arrival, which is where we'll do our first radio call. So we're going to basically do a left turn towards the airfield, then we're going to do a right turn to come around and line ourselves up for the approach. Alright, speed's getting up a little bit, so we'll bring the speed brakes out. We're going to have to start slowing down anyway. Wind that back to 245 for now. Again, we do have a speed restriction at Morix of 200, so we're going to go down to 200 for Gilos. Let's dial that all the way back. A couple tight turns. Short distances in here. We don't want to be going too fast and blow through the center lines of those turns. There's our flaps and our spoilers, our speed brake and maximum flight extension. We'll be able to go to flaps 10 eventually by the time we get our speed all the way down. That's standard pressure anyway, so we're just going to switch over so it's in. Speed coming back. We're half extended at the moment. So we're 11 miles out from Gilos. And we're below 250, so flaps 1. Flaps 2, we're going to go all the way to flaps 5. Speeds continuing to come back as the flaps extend and drag is introduced. And below 210, we can go down to flaps 10. We've leveled off a little bit for deceleration, which is fine. There's 10,000 feet. We'll get the lights on. Turn off lights are on. Logo and wing can come on as well. There we go. Flaps 10. And we're continuing our descent. As soon as we make this turn, we're going to go down to 185. There's the turn. Cross area traffic, Caribou 32 overhead, Gilos inbound on the Gilos 1 Mike. RNAV arrival descending through flight level 85. For runway 32 at cost. All right, we get that speed down to 185.
Cross traffic airfare 322, currently turning inbound to establish on the inbound radio for the VOR approach from 32. We are 12 miles out at the moment.
So there's the island ahead of us. The airport's down here on the flat. We're going to come in a little bit, then we'll make the turn, loop around the island here, and then come in for our landing. You can see we're slowly descending down. I think I see Kevin's lights flashing out there. We'll give the back a ding. This is a final, hey, get ready. Yeah, there he is. Got his red lights flashing over there. And we are now at 7,000 feet. Slowly working our way down, and again we got some hard limits. Morex 4000, LTAC 3500, and KO 324, which is where we're going to intercept on the approach, basically, or where we would intercept the ILS or at 2500. But we're going to go into approach mode at Morex since we'll be on the approach, and we'll do the RNAV in. Bring that over to 10 miles now. We got this one out here for a little bit more of a view. There's our extended center line. There's our, everything else is looking good. This approach is in. And we're down through 6,000 feet. There's Kevin's lights. We're gonna make the turn now. And head off in a more southeasterly direction. There we go. We're heading to Morex now, which is on the island we're going to see in a minute. There it is. No, that's not the one.
traffic airfare 322, 5 miles final runway 22.
I think that's the one there. There's Kevin. And we're 5 miles out from Morix. See the leader lights for the airport. Kevin's coming in. It's all looking good. Coming in for 4,000 feet, 185 knots. See, we got a little bit of a haze in the air. I can see the strobes. And there's the turn at Morix. Alright, so LNAV, VNAV path, final approach course, and glide path are armed. Setting down to 3,500 feet now. There you can see runway 32 at 323 degrees, 14 miles. All right. Pretty cool landing here.
Traffic airfare 3222, runway 32 at Alpha 1, taxi to stand 2 via Alpha.
Mountains on either side. Here's our turn on the final approach course. All right, approach course is set. Speeds are within limits. Speed brakes are now armed. Approach mode is active. Flaps 10. We are 9 miles out. We are now getting ready to line up. We'll level off at 3,000 feet. Airport's ahead. All of our lights are on, engines are on continuous. Auto brake set to 3. It's 8 miles, gear down. And speed coming back to 165, flaps 15. And glide path is captured. Cross area traffic, Caribou 32, establish RMP, runway 32, 6 miles, cost. $2,500 feet. 5 miles, so we're going to bring our speed down now to 125. It's below 160, so flaps 25. Flaps 30. And flaps 40. All right, speed down to approach speed. Now we got a 400-foot rise off the sea level, so that airport's only about 1,200 feet. Keep that in mind. For stable gear down 3 green, lights are on, cabin is notified. Speed brake is armed, auto brakes are set. Level 3. A slight uphill here on the runway, that'll help slow us down. You see a rapid decrease in our radar altimeter as we come up over land. 1,000 to go. There we go. She's starting to rapidly drop. Autopilot disconnected.
Approaching minimums. Minimums.
Continue.
Terrain, terrain. Terrain, terrain. 30, 20, 10.
$60 knots. Speed brakes off. Manual braking. And we'll get off here at Alpha. That way we're not going all the way down to the far end and coming back. Oh, looks like there's another aircraft here. Cost area traffic, Caribou 32 is clear, runway 32 at Alpha 1. All right. So after landing, flaps are up, speed brakes retracted, transponder is off, position light will go to steady, wing lights will come off. Turn off lights will come off, taxi light is on, landing lights are off, APU will start, anti-ice not required, prop heat is off, engine start switches are off, auto brakes are off, flaps are on their way up, taxi light again is on. Cost area traffic, Caribou 32 taxiing stand 1 via Alpha. Alright, let's see if it'll give me stand 1. one. There we go. Yeah. Oh, wait, you can do it, whoever they are. Let's taxi in. I guess that was the other aircraft that landed ahead of us. Was sitting there. There we go. Koss International Airport. There's 3, 2. Now we gotta pay attention to these because they're kind of all over the place. So 1 is on an angle. We can see it there. Turn in on 1. Kill the taxi light. Let's make sure we're where we can see them. Almost there. There we go. Welcome to Koss, everybody. Let's get the chocks put in. We'll get the ground power in. Let's turn off the terrain radar. Ground power is now connected. Get that on, we'll get the lights on. Now that I know where they are. Alright, so ground power is on. We're going to switch over to the APU generators. We'll turn, or the APU bleeds, we'll turn off that packs. Will come off, isolation valve is open. Recirc fan can go off. And we're going to pop down here now and shut down the engines. There's engine 2 and engine 1. Kill the caution. Anti-collision light can go off. Ground equipment is all coming in, fuel pumps except for the one running the APU. Isolation valve is confirmed open, and flight directors are now off.
The boarding requested.
All right, so they're going to come. DORD board. Stairs are on the way. And we'll be good to go. There's Kevin sitting over there. Looking very good. Well, thanks for coming along. Hope you enjoyed. We'll be back on Friday doing the next leg as we leave here. And I think we're heading down to Cyprus, if I read that right. So it'll be an interesting flight there as well. 1930 Zulu on Friday, and we'll be back in the air in the Boeing 737 business jet. So thank you for coming along. Hope you enjoyed. If you have any questions, feel free to leave it in the comments, and I will get back to you. See you on the next one. Bye for now.
Passengers bus is coming.